The other point about monopoly, particularly, I mean, it's also true for oligopoly, and it's actually true for monopolistic competition as well, is that they have some price setting power. And what this allows them to do, at times, if the conditions are right, is to price discriminate. So price discrimination, has in terms of what it is. Yeah, I mean you've seen it before. It's kind of if we both go to the cinema, you and me, it's kind of I pay £10, you pay £6, but it's kind of well, how is that reasonable? Yeah, it's like we're watching the same film. Yeah, my bottom is no bigger than yours. Why am I paying more? So what is price discrimination? It's a process through which a firm charges different prices to different groups of consumers. Although there are different types, there are different degrees of price discrimination. Yeah? The one that we're most interested in is this one. Different prices to different groups of consumers for, and this is the key point, the same product. So it's the same product, like the film, movie, whatever that we were just talking about a minute ago, to different groups for different prices, where the difference in price can't be explained by cost differences for the firms. So suppose we had a product that was being sold in Britain and France, but it was more expensive in Britain, but in Britain there's higher VAT or there's kind of import costs and so on, then we wouldn't say that's price discrimination. That can easily be explained. So what are examples of price discrimination? One we've already talked about is kind of adult-child price discrimination. So it's not just the cinema, it's also the bus, it's the train, and so on. So why is it that you get lower prices and I get higher prices? The answer is it's all linked to price elasticity demand, and we'll come to this. We'll come to this later. But essentially, they know that they can charge me more. My willingness to pay is higher. Whereas, for some of you at least, you won't get any money. So therefore, if you're going to go to the cinema, then they would rather you came than didn't. And what you'll find is that price discrimination is often in the service sector, and the reason is that the additional cost to the firm of basically all their costs are fixed, aren't they? Take a cinema. The additional cost of you going and watching the film is zero to them. So what they're looking to do is to get as many people, we talked about this before, but get as many people into that cinema as they possibly can. And one way of doing that is by having differentiated pricing. They know I'm going to go anyway. They know that you can't afford the adult price, so they just give you a lower price. So as a result, they have more revenue in the cinema, but it doesn't cost them any more money. Same with buses. Whether it doesn't cost them any more if you get on the bus compared with you not getting on the bus. You're not that heavy. So firms are using price discrimination. We'll talk about this later, but to boost their own revenue. You could argue that it's efficient, and again, we'll come back to this in the sense that they're making better use of the bus, making better use of the train, making better use of the cinema and so on. Another one is so that's so as I say, there's adult child. So examples. One is adult child. Another one is peak off peak. So you want to travel into London, kind of before 9:30, say on the train. It's going to cost you more than if you want to go during the middle of the day. If you want to go during the week, is going to cost you more than it is at the weekend. And again, it's linked to price elasticity demand. Who's going first thing in the morning? Commuters. They have no choice. Maybe their tickets are being paid for by their companies anyway. A train company might defend this by saying, well, what we're trying to do is to, what's sometimes called load spread. We want to make sure that, that the train is reasonably full at peak times, but not completely overcrowded. So if we can persuade some people to go at a different time of day, we're making more efficient use of the train. So instead of having a full train absolutely bursting at 8 o'clock and an empty train at 10, we actually spread that out. Another one, obviously, is men, women, or kind of blue-pink price discrimination. it remains the case that women's haircuts for the same haircut, say a cut and blow dry, as I told some of you before, I used to have long hair once upon a time. It still cost me less, to have my hair cut and blow dried than it would have done for a woman with the same length hair, or kind of blue pink on things like razors, and deodorant, women's products, the same product basically. A razor is a razor. They're charged a higher price. Why is that? Because it's difficult to say exactly, but for some reason, price elasticity demand in the female market must be lower. So, is this a good thing? How does it happen? We'll move on to that next.